Good afternoon. Please rise and remove all headgear for the singing of our national anthem. Oh, say, can you see? By the dawn's early light, once a proud we beheld, at the twilight's last gleaming, through bright stripes and bright stars, through the perilous fight, o'er the red white we walked, where the rockets streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night, that our flag was still there. Oh, say, just as our sail, that night I brave, o'er the land of the free, and the home of the brave. In the beginning, God made the world. He never planned to have division, fighting, and violence. But then, yours truly, not me now, but me then, took the fruit from the tree and ate it. Yes, you all know the story, and I am the reason why we have political parties. I am the reason our world is falling into ruins and the government is the way it is. Sin entered, and fast forward to I don't even know how many years until America was founded on July 4th, 1776. Our founding fathers had no intentions of political parties. It wasn't long, however, before the division developed among them. President George Washington favored a strong central government. Thomas Jefferson at the time favored a limited government, and Jefferson's supporters called themselves the Jeffersonian Republic. They later changed the name to Democrat-Republican. You see where this is going? After the War of 1812, the Democratic Republicans evolved into the Democratic Party, which was officially founded in 1812. After the Civil War, the Democrats dominated in the South due to its opposition to civil and political rights for African Americans. The Republican Party was founded in 1854. They originally fought to protect the rights of African Americans after the Civil War. After a major shift in the 20th century, today's Democrats are known for their association with a strong federal government and support for minority and women's rights, environmental protection, and progressive reforms. Generally, Democrats live closer to a coast. They tend to have more women in their groups than Republicans. They are much more likely to be gay or lesbian, have more of an attachment to organized labor, are slightly younger than Republicans, and are increasingly less religious. It's definition time! Liberals are open to new behaviors and opinions and are willing to discard their traditional values. The Democrats are liberal and are better than ever. At least that's what they think. We are not going to bring morality into this topic. Today, the Republicans are mostly conservative, holding to traditional attitudes and values, and cautious about change or innovation. Republicans favor limited power to the central government, giving states more freedom to do as they see fit. They favor lower taxes and less federal intervention in the economy. Suburban communities strongly lead Republican, and rural areas are almost exclusively Republican. Republicans are more likely to own their own home. Democrats and Republicans usually don't agree on anything. Today I will be discussing with you some topics that are debatable between the two parties. Topic number 1. Marijuana. Republican views on marijuana tend to be against legalization. Republicans call for a stricter federal regulation over marijuana, amongst the rampant state legalization for medical and recreational use. Republican John Fleming of Louisiana states, as marijuana is destigmatized, use goes up, and it finds its way into homes and candy and cookies and baked goods. And once again, it gets there. It finds its way into the brains of teens. Marijuana will also become more pervasive as states continue to embrace permissible laws on medical marijuana and the recreational use of marijuana, and kids and youth will have easier access to the dangerous, addictive drug. Democrats are for the legalization of marijuana. Democratic Senator from New Jersey, Cory Booker, has made marijuana reform a pillar of his political life. In 2018, his home state passed legislation indicating a move toward legalization, and before that, Booker wrote the Marijuana Justice Act, aimed at radically revamping cannabis legislation across the country. This act would not only legalize the substance on a federal level, but would also expunge convictions from many individuals convicted of marijuana-based offenses, and punish states for the practice of unfairly targeting minority populations in the war on drugs. The act did not make it out of Senate, but it did nonetheless come to represent the test of sorts for Democrats when it comes to the marijuana reform. A second major issue between the two is the issue of abortion. Republicans encourage people to choose adoption instead of referring them to an abortion clinic. They assert the sanctity of human life and affirm that the unborn child has a fundamental individual right to life, which cannot be infringed. They believe that the 14th Amendment also protects the unborn along with the living. They are trying to ban any abortions with the help of the 14th Amendment. Democrats believe that women have a right to what happens with their pregnancy, whether that's the abortion or the birth. They do not believe that the government has a right to interfere with a woman's decision with a pregnancy. They are willing to help women get the help they need, even if it includes abortion. They are willing to do anything to keep abortions safe, legal, and rare. Another major issue is the U.S.-Iran relations. Democrats question the strike's legality if it was an act that could start a war. They are against large-scale combat deployment of American troops. Democrats admit that Iran is the leading state sponsor of terrorism, and they do not think that the president is listening to his military commanders. I just pray to God he goes through with what's happening as we speak, that he's listening to his military commanders for the first time, because so far that has not been the case, according to Joe Biden.
The climate is also changing, so there are major differences from the two parties in these issues. Democrats believe that climate change poses a serious threat to American citizens and the economy. They focus on clean resources and protecting and developing them. They are angry that Trump withdrew from the Paris Climate Agreement. They believe that by ignoring the science behind climate change, Trump is putting American citizens' jobs, health, and economy at risk. Democrats believe that climate change poses a serious threat to American citizens and the economy. They focus on clean resources and protecting and developing them. Republicans are strong supporters of agricultural and energy workers. They support modernized pipelines, electrical grids, expedited energy supports, and lower energy costs. They believe that Congress should give authority to state regulators to manage energy resources on federally controlled public lands within their respective borders. Responsibility use of our energy reserves to create more jobs, especially for the coal industry. With the immigration laws, Democrats fight for every immigrant who feels threatened by Donald Trump. They work to fix the nation's broken immigrant reform by working toward comprehensive reform so criminals are being targeted and not families. They believe in treating all people who come to the United States with dignity and respect. Republicans believe immigration laws reform that address the needs of national security. They believe a system needs to be in place to ensure immigrants who illegally enter the country are not provided with the same benefits as legal citizens are. They welcome those who legally do enter the country. I hope you guys learned something today, and if you didn't, then watch it again. Thank you, and bye. Jeffersonarian. Jeffersonarian? Okay. Thank you.